everyone, this is Mel here. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to play a little bit of Fallen Land, a post-apocalyptic board game. This is the second edition, which includes the Descendants expansion, which is quite a good expansion because it comes with this little box and it works as a card storage as well. So obviously you can see straight away this is a game that comes with many hundreds of cards, and this is one of the best things about this game. But also if you have the first edition, then obviously it's a pain to put everything back into the box. So the second edition is quite good in terms of storage wise. But the game itself is it's mainly a talisman-like board game where the idea is very simple. You have a party. Party of 4 or 5 members, where you go through this post-apocalyptic North Americans map, and the idea is you will encounter different things depending on the locations that you get on. So if you go through some of these plane hexes, then you will get a planes encounter, very similar to the likes of a talisman game. The differences is that, as you can see, these cards comes with a lot of text, and these texts are pretty nice, and I think they works as a way of almost they works as a kind of an RPG encounter for these cards. And this is quite a RPG in the box type game where the purpose is to create a story mainly in your imagination and connecting the dots yourself. And yeah, it's a pretty good game. But today we're just going to do a quick playthrough. I have received this game a few years ago. I haven't actually got much chance to play it due to life circumstances. But yeah, today we'll give it a try. But we're going to give it a try with a homebrew. So this is my alternative map. And Mercenary Mode, and also Footsoldier Mode Homebrew. So this is a kind of a 3-in-1 homebrew that I created a few years ago. I haven't actually got much chance to play it. So this is going to be a playtest section as well. Now the reason why I want to use this alternative mode is because while the map is functional, the map of Fallen Land is functional, it doesn't really inspire me in terms of the art. It works as a randomizer, so it has lots of random numbers from 1 to 100, so you can roll a D100 to get the location. It shows you some of these resources locations, some of the different terrains, and it also works as a typical old school victory point tracker. You can see on the side. But apart from that, the game, the board itself is just it's just not inspiring in terms of the artistic approach. And from my perspective, I don't have any nostalgic values, or I don't really know enough of the North Americans map to tell this is Florida, this is New York, or Wyoming or something like that. So I can't really tell just from this one. So I kind of know where the general direction is, because it's East Coast, West Coast, but apart from that, I can't really relate to this map. And on top of that, it is still quite a big map for me. As you can see, it takes quite a lot of space if I'm playing solo. So I decided to come up with this alternative map when I first received it, where I'm using a deck of cards to replace the this game board. And it also helps me create some more kind of tactical decision in terms of where you want to go. While your original map does include some of the movement costs, so for example, going to plains just costs you 1 movement point, going to mountains cost 2, and city hexes cost 3. That is still not enough to you know, make a traveling through this map, you know, requires any kind of tactical thinking. So I'm going to play with the alternative mode to see how it goes. The other thing about Mercenary Mode is that I don't want to play with the town. So the game, you know, by default is that you play with a town, and it comes with 5-6 characters, and you can build up your town technology with some of these cheats over here. You can see there's things like you can build a medical center, or you can do water supplies and so forth. And the town also works as your base, where you can store your loot or your unused characters. But I'm not really interested in that portion. And the town cards, again, while they're quite interesting in terms of the story-wise, I mean, they're quite big. So that's the thing. So once you put it here or you put it somewhere else, it does take quite a lot of space. But you know, I do like the story of these towns. They all come with some neat descriptions. But yeah, so for this purposes, for this playtest, I'm not going to do the town. And the last bit of the homebrew is the Footsoldier Mode. So by luck or by chance, you end up working with this mercenary group. So the idea is this is going to turn this into more of a solo RPG, where you're focusing on the journey of one single character. So in this game, there are many characters, and lots of them are quite interesting. So you can see there are, I don't know how many, maybe 100 or maybe less than 100 characters. You know, all of them with great arts. You know, they have some interesting kind of description. A lot of them are, you know, parodies, you know, characters with the names that, you know, definitely comes from either from the team who creates this. So, for example, Wendy Longgreen is the wife of the creator. But a lot of these are going to be, you know, just, you know, movie characters and so forth. So, quite an interesting one, but you know, once you have 5 or 6 of them, it is a little bit difficult to track. So again, each of these characters can have their own stats and their own gears and so forth. And that is always one thing about Fallen Land, is it does get to a table hog, and you know, I just don't need table hog at this point of life. So. And I do like a more one person or one character focused story as well, like a solo RPG. So I'm going to play with Footsoldier Mode, and I will see how it goes. We will set up the map first. So the map is pretty straightforward. You know, the alternative map is that we use a deck of cards. And in this case, I'm using this air deck. This is a kind of a slim style, you know, poker cards. But I mean, it works the same. I mean, we can shuffle it as well. It is just basically a standard deck of cards. These are waterproof. They're plastic, so you know they don't. There's very few wear and tear, so they're quite nice for general purposes. But the idea of alternative modes is we are going to create a deck like this style. So we have something on the very left-hand side as the starting locations, and then we're going to review the 3x4 rows of cards. So in this case, we'll have 5, 8, 6. So what it does is it creates a grid that your characters can go through, and you can always go from the left to the right. You start at this starting location, so you can go diagonally. So you can go to 5, go to queen, or go to 6. But each of these numbers will correspond to the movement points required to move into that location, and the different suits will represent the different terrains as well. So for example, you can see here the diamonds will be the plains, and the club will be the mountains, hearts will be the city, and the spade will be raid. So it corresponds to the different location encounter that you need to draw if you ended up in one of those locations. For the face cards, they also represent different things. So jacks are going to be resources that you can claim. The colors will determine if they're natural or owned. The queens will be the towns. Red will be natural and black will be hostiles. And the kings will be the mission locations or the point of interest. So in this game, there will be some mission cards that you can draw. And some of them will basically require you to go through a series of tasks. And they're very similar to the encounter cards, but some of them are more interesting than that. And most of these cases, they are more difficult tasks. So kings represent there's a mission that you can take there, which is basically to represent the original board where you have the numbered locations. In the original ones, you roll D100 to determine which ones are populated with a quest. In this case, when you draw a king, and if you lend it to that represents the same thing. So that is the alternative map. So we have that set up, and the next thing is we are going to play a combination of the Mercenary Mode and also the Footsoldier Mode. So the Mercenary Mode is basically kind of give you an option to play without a town. So it allows you to kind of roll or determine the goals instead of the original winning conditions of the game, where you are just basically competing for the prestige or from the town health. So these are the trackers on the side. That's the original goals. But in this case, we're just playing as a bunch of mercenaries. There's an option to roll for it or decide yourself. So, for example, if you can decide to just complete 3 missions. So you draw 3 missions, and you need to go to 3 king locations and complete them, and then you win. Or there are others like, for example, capture 4 resource points and return back to your hometown. Find and destroy 3 other mercenary groups. Rescue and escort a special NPC. So just any characters, draw random characters from a hostile town. And in this mode, you create a hostile party with 10 sports cards, so very easy to do. Or you do the gain 20 health points, town health points, and 5 prestige for a other faction. And the last one is just pick one of the co-op scenarios from the original rulebooks. And in this mode, the town health and prestige are exchangeable to salvage coins, which is basically the payment for the mercenaries. So there's a 1-to-1 for health, and then 1 prestige means 5 salvage coins. Now, back in 2022, when I was created this homebrew, I was going to create some additional town events, but so some additional mercenary events to replace the town events, but I never got time to actually do that. But the last mode that we're going to use today is also the Footsoldier Mode. So this is a true solo characters. Now what's going to happen is we're going to attach this character to a mercenary group. And the reason is because this game is designed, all the encounters are designed to have multiple success requirement. And if you have only one character, it's very difficult to pass any single test. So what I've done is I've decided to use these mercenary groups as kind of, the mercenary groups that you're working for whatever reasons. And the way to do it is you randomize them and pick 3 and then choose one. So in our case, we have first of all the Dark Tide. This is an okay-ish mercenary groups because it has a omega test. So this test values is basically the test level that this card can do. And then there's a health point of 30. Their soul value is 3. If we look at another one, This is worse. Unfortunately, this is Grey Wolves. There's only 25 health points, and all the other stacks are the same. Well, it even has one less movement. And the last one is, again, I think this is more movement, same health points as the Dark Tides, but the test is really bad. It only has an 8 test, so it doesn't even have any automatic success. So yeah, I think what I will do for this game is I will decide to play as the Dark Tides. So the next step is to pick or randomize our character. So we start with a character, and I mean, for this mode, it is recommended to pick someone that is a bit more powerful, because you're the only characters that matters, and if you die, you die, and you are responsible for passing the test as well. So anything with good stats is pretty essential. Obviously, if you want just a story, then that is fine as well, just creating stories. So for these purposes, I think I will get something with a at least 7 kind of 7 or 8 test for most of the skills. Maybe this one, Booker's Grey. So this is what I'm going to start with as my characters. Looks like an old man who is the description is, I may be ornery, but there ain't a damn thing I don't know about weapons. So he is a weapons expert, and he's a master character as well, so he's supposed to be slightly more powerful than your average NPC. So this is our characters. We work for the Dark Tide, and at the start of the game we are given 20 salvage points. These are very important because in this Footsoldier mode you have 3 d10s to roll for your skill test using your skills plus your equipment. For any additional d10s that you want to roll on based on your mercenary's skill test, you have to pay for the sold values. So if you want to have, apart from your d10s, if you want to get another one and use the 12 as the basis to roll, then you need to pay 3 salvage points. If you want another one, then you will pay additional 3 salvage points. In this case, you need to pay 6. This represents that the resource that is spent by the mercenary groups to help out the mission or the encounter. So if you think about it, 20 salvage point is quite there's not a lot to start with. If you have a test that requires maybe 5 or 6 successes, then even if you have your free ones plus 4, then that is 12 salvage points gone. So that's the beginning. Now we are also allowed to use the party time action, which is one of the variants that comes with the game. So the game comes with already a whole bunch of variants. The homebrew variants I have is on top of that. So the thing about the party time is that it allows me to equip my characters with salvage point at the start of the game. So I can draw 2 spoils. If I pay 1 salvage coin, take 1 and discard another, or discard both if it is a event or James card, and then draw another one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some salvage points. So I'm going to spend maybe 2, spend 1 first, so it goes back into the pool, and I'm going to draw 2 spoils, and I'm going to see what I have as an options. So the first one is 6 armored war horses. So this is definitely useful, but let's see the second one. Ooh, also horses. Oh, this is amazing. So I've got 2 bunch of horses, The good news is they can act as a character that is giving me a free test, although their stat is pretty poor, so anything like attack we need to roll a 4 under to actually pass it. But this one gives me options with 3, 3, and even it can potentially pass some of the other things like medicals, research, and stuff like that. Interesting. So I think I'm going to pick the fast horse in this case. So my character has also got fast horse, is riding a fast horse. I'm going to assume that the whole Dark Tide mercenary group is also doing that. And then I'm going to spend another one just in case. So to get some more spoils. Another one. Ooh, there's some guns, which is amazing because our character is a range weapon expert. So any ranged weapons attached to this character will get us a +2 to attacks and kind of combat, and even +2 to negotiation. So I guess people will get scared because we are holding a gun. So there's option of 5.56 mil light machine guns or the military rifles. I'm definitely gonna pick the this one, which is the relics as well, which is the better options. And I'm gonna attach it here, and I'm going to get myself a bonus because I do have the ranged weapons with me. Now it does give me 1 prestige, which is quite nice because I can get some of my salvage points back because I got the exchange rate of 1 prestige equals 5 salvage coins. So we'll get an additional 5. So this is amazing. This is exactly what I need as a start of the game. So here we go. I think we are going to be able to start the game now. So to start with, I'm just going to pick the mercenary counter here. This is for that Dark Tide. Unfortunately, I can't really... there you go. There is the Dark Tide. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the left-hand side. And we are ready to go. So the first thing first is we have some decisions to make. Now, the Queen... on the right hand side, we can go there, or we can go to 5, or go to 6. We have a movement of 12, so if we want, we can go to 5, 1, and then 2, and that gives me 8, and we can even stop here if wanted. But then, is there any reasons why we want to go to Q, which is a natural town? I don't think so, because I think the decision, actually, sorry about the objective of this game. I don't think I've decided yet, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 missions. So I'm going to pick 3 mission cards, and I'm not sure what they are yet, but if we go to the king, which is the location with the mission points, then we can start with the first one. So I think we were going to do that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first, I'm going to go up to here, which used up our movement points. So we have a movement point of 9, plus 2, so 11. But let's assume that's the case. So we have used up 5. And can we go to the movement points of the king, which is another 5. So any phase cost always costs 5 movement, which we can. So we go here and here, and we're going to look at our first mission. So this is called Collision of the Damned. So the widespread deformities and mutations plaguing residents of the Fallen Land are just some of the legacies of the Great War. A direct result of the nuclear and biological exchange, these mutants are often shunned as freaks and cast from the safe confines of the faction towns. Now, recent intelligence reports indicate they have rallied under the flag of Grog, a powerful and resourceful mutant. And Grog claims he has recovered a large quantity of pre-war super serum that enhances strength and agility. Once he's unified the rest of the mutants, he intends to settle the score. Although the Council of Towns agrees mutants have been wrongfully mistreated, all attempts at a peaceful resolution have failed. That is where you come in. Stop Grog at all costs. So it's a little bit of a Fallout 1. The masters, about mutants taking over. So, I mean, there's a fun bunch of tests here. So this is where the kind of a story comes into play. So Fallen doesn't give you additional stories. This basically gives you a bunch of tests. So you need to have 4 survival success, 7 combat success, and these for the last one is an optional success or an optional test that you can do. So in this case, if you get a 4, which is I think is a medical test result, then you will get some additional kind of success reward. Now, but first of all, we will gain 2 salvage points. So this is the first the 2 meanings. So we get 2 for salvage point. And now we have the decision to go through the test. Now we need 7 success, which is a lot. So we will go through and pay for, first of all, the success in the survival. So we're going to tell the story as we're traveling through the terrains. In this case, it is actually a diamond, which is plains. So we have first gone through some of the mountains, and then we've now gone into a plain area. And this is the first success that we need to test for. So we have 1 free D10s for my Bonker Grays. And then I have 1 free test for my horses. Now our success is 7, which is not great, but it will do. So we'll do the test. Our horse is 3, so we need to roll 3 and under. And now we need to decide how much we will pay for the Dark Tides mercenary groups for their test. And well, it's a test of 4, so we at least need 6. Pay them 6 coins to get 2 D10s. But even that, I don't think we will be able to pass this anyway. So I'm going to spend a lot of coins. So if I pay 12, then I can get 4 dice on it, which will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it still doesn't give us enough for our combat, because even if we get that, we will have even if we get everything success, that we only have 6. Now the good thing is Bonkers receive 1 additional success on all party combat skill check, so we will be able to get 1 more free combat. So the requirement is reduced by slightly 1, so we need 6 success. I'm going to pay more. I'm going to pay another 12 to put more dice on it. So in this case, we will have actually 12 will give me 4. So do I even have enough D10s? Yes, I do have enough D10s. So, so there's a lot of D10s. So First of all, let's see if we can pass the survival test, which I think we should be able to do. So I'm going to roll mine first, which is an 8. Unfortunately, I don't get a success from Bonkers. So Bonkers is not feeling too well traveling through the mountains and to the plains. He probably got sick because of his age. We'll see the horses, how the horse is doing. 6, also not doing very well. It only has 3. Now, these is then based on our mercenary group. So if they get 4 success out of their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then we'll still pass the survival. So let's see. So the booms are gone. Unfortunately, we have 3 booms, but then we have 6, 2, 9, 1, 4. Now, because the skill of these this group is 12, so every single dice will at least give a success, and anything on top of that will be able to give us additional success. So yes, there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 success, and then because these 2 are under the additional 2, so we basically have more than enough for the survival. So I guess we're being carried by the dark tide. Our mercenaries group mates to help us to this location. Then the next task is the main one, which is the biggest one, is the combat dice. So again, let's see Bonkers how our character is doing in this case. So he automatically get 1 success at least. That's a good thing, and he has a combat of 20, so he get additional 20 success. So 3, so no additional, no booms, but he got 3 success. So I'm going to just use this to mark it, and then see if our horses give us anything. No, our horses didn't give us anything. And then it's time for our mercenary groups. I'm glad I pay all these costs, even though I don't know where we'll get the rest of the money, but we'll try to get this mission first. So yeah, no booms. So simply based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we will get the success, right? So 8 plus 3 is 11. So where now we pass the combat. So we're probably shooting down or fighting with the Grok's army. Unfortunately, it is just war between these mutants and the and our mercenary groups. So we might be fighting them. We might want to subdue them. So instead of killing on sight, we try to arrest or basically disarm them, because I do want to do the success test on the last one, which is a medical test. So I don't know the result. I haven't read the ones below, but I've got a feeling if we do success, then we might get some good outcome from story wise. So for my character, I have 4. So let's see if I can get up 4 or under. No, I can't. Then we'll see the horses. Can you get up 1 and under? No. I don't know how we can come up with a story, but that would be funny if the horses is the key. Then it's our team to see if they get 4 success. So the boom is gone. Now I do want to mention, based on the original rules, is if your characters roll 1 single basically the nuke sign, then you are kind of just, all your tests are gone, so you don't count as any success. But for these purposes, I'm not gonna do that. Otherwise it's just gonna be you're gonna fail immediately. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will definitely have enough successes because our skills is 12. So anything beyond 10, you originally get a 1 success anyway. So we definitely passed that one. So I'm going to say the Dark Tide did help pass out the very last test. So we're going to get the success, which is 3 prestigious and 3 spoil cards. So you track down Grog's vile lieutenants and engage them in battles. The remnants of the mutant armies are scattered to the 4 winds. Unfortunately, Grog escaped. Now I have got the OSC, so the optional success, which is search the action deck for New World Man card or confiscate it from another player. You secure a sample of Grog's mysterious super serum. Very interesting. So first of all, we'll gain the prestige. We're going to translate it immediately to the salvage coins because we don't play with a map or town. So we gain 15 back. Very needed. We got 3 spoil cards. So I'm going to draw 3 and see what they are. So we gain a whole bunch of guns. Unfortunately, I don't need additional guns, but what is very important is the sell price. We need to sell them to gain some prestigious, some salvage coins. That will be very helpful. Yeah, I don't think these guns are better than mine anyway. So yeah, I'm not gonna use it. So these are probably just going to the spoils. Yeah, not sure what this sign means, but yeah, I'm gonna have these with me. Now these requires 655, so 11 of our carry points. So I'm gonna put it on our horses. I'm sure we have enough under that, so that's fine. Actually, I can't remember if horses can use guns. I might need to check that. I don't think so, but I assume that it can carry it. It would be fun if it can. Yeah, mounting a machine gun on our horses. But then I need to find out that action New World. What's it called? The New World Man card. So I've got the New World Man. This is a play-during effect phrase on one of your party characters. This is a permanent attachment. So a strange mutation has occurred. Okay, that's very interesting because it means that I can improve my character. So that's super funny. Yeah, I think we will just do that. And what I'm gonna say is I'm just gonna use that straight away. I think it is permanent according to this. This is a permanent attachment. So yeah, that's super funny because our character now is +2 to everything. So Bukas took that serum. So for whatever reasons, maybe the Dark Ties wants to test on him because he didn't do very well in terms of the survival test. So yeah, we are the guinea pigs. So but yeah, now we are the super New World Men with a whole bunch of new salvage points. And yeah, so I think we have moved. We have encountered the mission, which costs 3 weeks, and we're done for the month. Now immediately after that, we'll go back to the different phrases. So I think the original phrases is the effect phrase, which we have just applied that effect. And what we would then have is the likes of dealing phrase. So we'll have resource production, which we don't have any. We haven't captured any resources. Then we get to the financial phrase, which we can sell our stuff. So I think we'll definitely need to spell some of our spoils. But first of all, I do want to check if there is a possibility for our vehicle to be mounted with weapons. Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think we can actually have our horses use these machine guns. I mean, I can definitely house rule it. In fact, I might. I'm just going to maybe mount the 7.62 machine guns on our horses, so we get a additional 8 to our attacks. But I don't think I can equip additional ones, so the assault rifles and the 6.8 millimeters advanced rifles. We will sell them, and which will give us 29 very useful salvage points, because as you can see in the very first test, it does take up a lot of salvage points just from doing any encounters. Okay, so we're now down to week 2. So the start of week 2, we've just completed a mission. We again back to our 11 movement points, which is the dark ties 9 plus the 2 from our from our horses, our fast horses. So we have 11, which means that we can finish these 1 and 10, and then we can end there and do an encounter to see where we ended it. So we can go 1 and then 10, and then a diamond is a plane, so we will see what kind of encounter that we'll see. So we'll draw a plane card. I'll just randomly draw one. So what does it say? So, ghost bump in the night. For 3 days now, something has been following your group, lurking just beyond your campfire's light. It methodically skirts the edges of your encampment. Wherever the hell it is smart. Thus far, it managed to avoid your attempts to force a confrontation. 72 hours now with no sleep. This ends tonight. So we will confront this being. But first of all, we gain the 5 loots. Now, there is a sign here to say which characters will need to face it, but because we're the only character, we will do that, and this requires 2 success. So in this case, I don't think we can pay anything for our basically companions to help us, but that's fine. We will just roll on Bucas, Grace, which is, we have more than enough, I think, because we have 10 plus 8 plus 2, 20, plus our ranged weapon length skill, which is 2, and we automatically, we don't get the party combat skills, but we will see if we can get any success in this case. We get a 5. Because we are 22, so we automatically get 2 success, and the 5 will count as no success. So yes, we have succeeded. So let's see what we have. Gained 1 spoiled and a action card. And actually I forgot to gain my previous action card, which is a free one from every month. So I gain that one, and we'll gain another one. And we also gained the spoil cards. But let's read what we're saying, what we're seeing. So sometimes around midnight, the rattle of automatically gunfire awakens you. It is followed by a victorious shout of your god. Yeah, get some! Another follow-up burst of staccato gunfires mingles with the gurgled shrieks of a dying creature. Mutated red horror lies dead in your snares. It has thick armadillo-like scales, cavernous maw linked with razor-sharp teeth, and 6 legs ending in talons. You trade these trophy for some gear and info at the next caravan oasis. So, good job, Bucas Gray. I guess is something to do with the mutant grog that we have encountered earlier, I think. So they might have sent some spies following us, and then we dealt with them, so we can see what spoils we get. So, ooh, very nice. And other 5.5 bolt action rifle. Yeah, I don't think we can carry it. I mean, we should be able to carry. I don't think there's a limit on how many range weapons that you are supposed to be able to. Is there anything like that? I can't remember, but I need to check. So there might be something to stop us from carrying 2 guns, but I'm not sure. But either way, I'm gonna stow it for now, for my horses. So this is potentially 15 gold. And I'm gonna see what actions I have. So the first one is Mustard. Play during the end turn phase. Draw 3 character cards. They may replace current party members, and all remaining characters are placed into your town rosters. So based on us, we always have 1 character, so we might replace it if we don't like Boogers, but I do like him. But we can also sell this for 4 salvage points, which is useful. So yeah, I might sell this one. And then the other one is a Merc football bomb. Okay. Play during the party's exploits phase after you failed a combat skill check and escape without suffering the consequences, and or play during the party exploits phase before a round of PvP. So we're not doing PvP, but unless we're facing another mercenary groups. But yeah, this is amazing. We're gonna have a football bomb that we can kick over. So yeah, so I'm definitely gonna sell this, and I'm gonna keep this football bomb. So that again concludes the month, because because we've used up all our movements, so there's nothing we can do anyway. We haven't hurt ourselves, so we are going to discard everything and restart the map. So, but I think I'm gonna stop the playtest today. I think it is quite interesting in terms of seeing some of the house homebrews that I have written a few years ago, back in 2022. So it's almost 4 years now. And yeah, it's quite interesting to playtest something that I have created, but I have almost no recollection of. So the thing I do like about it is it does invoke some of the choices that we need to decide, you know, which route do we want to go, and each draw is kind of interesting because you will see in this case we will have some resources here, we have some towns here, we have some missions here, and you know, deciding how you spend or you know go through this route is quite interesting, and it also removed the use of the board, which works pretty well for me. In terms of the other homebrew rules, the Mercenary Mode, I think it works fine. Completing 3 missions is kind of one of the original variants from the game. So this game obviously comes with a whole bunch of scenarios, which you can also play them as linked campaigns. But there's also a lot of built-in scenarios, variants. So there's solo variants 1. Now these ones I don't particularly like, and that's the reasons why I come up with my own kind of variants, because what it does is it tracks with a kind of a AI dummy town, where it automatically, when you roll a d10, it will get like town health and prestige. It doesn't add a lot of story. It's just automatically gained health, and you just want to be faster than the other town. There's other alternatives, you know, like the party time that I've used. This is very useful. It gives a little bit of flavor. So you know, when you start your character, you basically start up in a market, get some gears, and we got our really good relic gear, so it, you know, makes our character more interesting. It starts with super powerful gear. But the game itself does come with other no map variants. Something that maybe just on a mission where you go through a few missions, and once you're done, then you win the game. So the winning conditions that I have is, some of them I took it from the scenario book, some of them I came up with. I think it's fine. Completing 3 missions will give me enough game sections for one section, and I can encounter quite a lot of different cards already with that. And the Footsoldier Mode, the last one that I came up with, which means that I only play with Booker's Grey. I think it works a little bit because my focus will just be on this character. I think if I wanted to, I can add a bit more roleplay elements to it. Things like when we encounter the original mission cards. These cards are, for me, more like a little encounter trimmed down into one card. So it's like a D&D encounter or a roleplay encounter. The whole thing is a scenario or module, and it's up to the player to come up with explanations. So why it requires a survival test, why it requires a combat test, and if you do them one at a time, then it also allows you to tell a little bit of story. So, for example, the ones that we have, our horses failed, Booker's Grey failed, so we maybe get sick during our travel to find this the location of these mutant camps. But at the end, we did success in the combat, and also the medical test, which is finding the syrup. So it's up to the players to come with a story, and which is the strength of Fallen Land, which is also why a lot of people don't like it when you play in groups, because it's up to you to create your own stories, very similar to the likes of Talisman. But I think this works pretty well. I think we might need a bit more work maybe on the town or on the mercenary mercenary mode goals. I do want to revisit it in the future regarding the mercenary event charts to replace the town event charts. At the moment, we just skip that part. So I might come up with something in the future. But in general, Fallen Land is quite an interesting game. I think it is a fun enough game that captures that randomness of Talisman. It is easy to bring on the table because of, especially if you have the second edition with the box that holds all the cards. So in this case, I don't even need the original game box. And if you want, you can have just one box of tokens, because this game can play up to 10 characters, so it does 10 plays. So it comes with a whole bunch of unnecessary number of tokens. So I just have a small box, enough for one character or one party. So that helps. And if you also play like me without a town, then you also can even have something as small as this area as your play area. You can use the alternative map mode that I came up with a deck of cards to represent the map. And you can even get rid of the actual game board. So overall, I do like this game, and I do like my homebrews, and I do think this is quite a successful game testing. So I will talk to you guys next time. Thank you.